To my people, I was the Queen of Hearts. To my enemies, I was a warmonger. But I just wanted to stay out of the political arena. I just wanted to be wife to the king of my country and to be a good mother to my children. Then came the war, which destroyed all my dreams. In the end, it was I who had to confront the most powerful man in the world. It was very hot that summer. I loved the landscape, but the journey through Eastern Prussia was long. Everything was at stake now, our kingdom and our honor, even our future. I had to summon all of my courage for a meeting that would end up deciding the fate of Prussia. My husband and his ministers had no other advice other than to send me to the man who I despised most of all, Napoleon Bonaparte. He had conquered our Prussia.
If the Prussians really believe that their queen will change my mind, then they will be disappointed. They went to war with me and lost. Now they must pay for it.
There are many people who rave about Louise.
Yeah, well, we shall see if she really is as enchanting as everyone claims.
For me, it was a journey to hell.
To be honest, you haven't exactly flattered her, sir.
Madame likes having a pretty face, but has little common sense. She incited the Prussian king against me, after all. That weakling allowed himself to get conned. And so now, he will see exactly how far mixing women in politics will get you.
Not everyone feels the same. Quite a few find her rather charming.
She is a little warmonger, and she will not turn my head. Prussia has worked too hard to try and achieve peace, but a little conversation with her can't hurt. All of my hard work and conquests aren't about to be threatened by pretty eyes, my dear Marat.
God be with me.
Just remain calm, Majesty. Napoleon has a weakness for beautiful women.
Yes, well, surely you have heard what he has said about me.
Louise. All of our hopes rest with you. You alone can save Prussia. Forget for the moment all of the insults that Napoleon said about you and your husband. Do not talk about politics. Just be a good wife, a mother.
Tsar Alexander was our loyal ally. His words helped, but this didn't concern Russia. And my husband, the King of Prussia, was helpless. Now from this bitter cup I must drink.
Believe me, Majesty. Napoleon will admire you. And in the end, he will yield.
Is this enough skin? Or should I show more? Was I really made for it? To become queen? My sister Frederica and I, we were the two Mecklenburg princesses. I could have remained a princess my whole life. Our mother had died early, and so we grew up with my grandmother in Darmstadt. We called her Mabushka. She didn't exactly take to the rules of court. And if I'm honest, we always preferred to mess around rather than sit and learn. When we were older, Father introduced us to better society. We were always going to balls in the imperial city of Frankfurt. There was nothing more exciting for us. Here, loud-mouthed young officers romped around, raving about their heroic actions and looking for beautiful women. And it also swarmed with aristocrats who had fled the French Revolution. I cared little about that. I wanted to dance.
Your daughters are really charming, dear Duke. Really enchanting, like angels.
Yes. And they must be guarded.
Especially in these times. One must surely have to think twice as to who could be a good match.
Well, one thing's for sure, I would never give them to a Frenchman. I would prefer to give them over to Prussian keeping. You'll have to excuse me. The Prussian delegation has arrived.
Yes, thank you.
We were not rich, but our father had good connections.
Hey,
And so Federica and I would get to know the Prussian princes better. Ludwig and his older brother, Crown Prince Friedrich Wilhelm.
Care to dance?
do you know what I heard?
Yes, I love to dance, do you?
Yes.
Do you know what I heard?
I was 17, Friedrich Wilhelm 22. Of course, I had already heard that he was quite shy and a bit stiff. It's the best thing. Either way, I liked him, even though he barely said a single word to me and danced somewhat awkwardly. How about you? Do you often come to these balls? Because whenever he did speak, then he meant it.
Sometimes.
He was honest.
Thank you.
With my brother.
A little later, he proposed to me.
Prefers the countryside.
I like the countryside too, but I'd like to dance more.
Hey, yes.
And my sister Federica also found her groom, Prince Ludwig. So there was a double wedding in Berlin. We were so curious about the city, the castles, all the people. On the way there, we wondered how we would be received. Thank you. Then we heard the cheering. All that joy. So many people, Federico, and they've all come for us.
I didn't even know that the Prussians could be so merry.
Composure, please, ladies.
And that was my future lady-in-waiting, Countess Voss. She served the Prussian court for a long time and would adjust to me.
This way, this way.
Hey, look! There's the Brandenburg Tower! All these people were waiting for us, as they had never seen a princess before. Later, it became clear to me that Prussian rulers preferred to hide their wives rather than show them publicly. That should be different now.
On behalf of the people of Berlin, we have the honor of humbly presenting these verses to your Royal Highness.
I thank you. What?
Watch your etiquette.
What about etiquette?
Please keep your distance.
But why? Friedrich Wilhelm and I married on Christmas Day, 1793, in Berlin Palace. 2 days later, Federica and Prince Ludwig also became married. One ball after another, we were gazed at everywhere.
Here, listen to what they're reporting. The bride looked enchanting and seemed to be full of grace and goodness,
It says seemed?
in which she bowed to all sides, skimmed her clear, sensible eye over the welcoming crowd with a charming and sweet, beautiful smile.
Sweet. What does it say about my dress?
Hold on. She looked at her fiancé with an expression of confident love.
Put that away. It sounds funny.
And here it says that he walked to the altar so quickly that you could hardly keep up.
Federica!
And there was nothing more solemn than what the court chaplain said then. You have been chosen by Providence to gladden the crown prince's heart.
They always talk like that.
The court and fatherland expects you to be a shining example for all. And he meant you by that?
An example for the court, for the fatherland. If I had guessed then what that would mean.
You have to tell her it was embarrassing.
Don't be too hard on her.
Hard on her. She will one day be Queen of Prussia. Her Majesty the Queen Mother expects you to forbid her.
She only danced a bit.
Everyone saw her naked ankles. Such a thing does not belong at court. Your mother turned away in horror.
Come in.
Morning, ladies.
Countess Voss? Ah, the fashion magazines. Come and join us, Countess. You too, Frederick. You must look for something you like. My Friedrich Wilhelm. I offered him the same thing on the wedding night. He agreed. But it was difficult for him to open up.
I am more familiar with uniforms.
Look here, that is the Greek style. That would suit us both very well. That's what they wear in Paris.
One shouldn't wear too lightweight fashion these days. And especially not if it comes from that immoral country.
From France, Countess. But they are just clothes. I loved my husband, and he loved me, even if we were different. But soon daily life moved into the court. Sometimes, it was yawningly boring and deadly quiet. The people liked me, but I often felt lonely in the desolate rooms of our palace. I counted the days until the next ball, until the next party. I didn't want to end up like the other wives of Prussian kings. Friedrich the Great preferred to take care of his lords rather than his wife. I wanted to live and be happy with my husband and with the people here. I was happy for any distraction. We're already there.
Already? We have to go give audience.
I'm sorry. I dressed exactly like how you said, my dear Shadow. Unfortunately, it went on a bit.
You look simply enchanting, dear princess. You are admired. Now many women are wearing a ribbon around their chin. Like you are giving weight to the fashion.
And yet, that is just the place of my neck.
You should continue your work now.
The sculptor who made the quadriga in the Brandenburg Tower wanted to immortalize my sister and me as princesses. You don't need to chaperone us and suffer. (1797), Chateau made our statue out of marble. Frederick Wilhelm was soon the Prussian king, and I his queen. It made no difference to me, but for him,
Unacceptable. You may look like a beautiful Prussian Venus, but now you are a queen.
But everyone who has seen it so far has been totally enchanted. They love it.
I'm sure it is successful, but portraying my wife publicly like that bothers me.
Please allow me to suggest a suitable place to keep this piece. I'm sure I will be able to find one that you will definitely like, Your Majesty.
Yes, think about it, Shadow. As long as this one is hidden. Until it's decided.
sometimes I was a real grump. But why was he afraid?
Louise?
I think it's wonderful. During the summers, we mostly spent our time on our small estate, Paretz. Everything was different there. No etiquette, no politics, no obligations. And Friedrich Wilhelm was different. He lovingly looked after the children. After 10 years of marriage, we had 3 boys and 2 girls. They were our everything. At harvest time in Paretz, we lived exactly how we wanted. And everyone was welcome. Aristocrats, citizens, craftsmen, and farmers. In our little kingdom, we were just like children. We had no idea of what stood before us. Napoleon was on the move. He wanted to rule all of Europe. Prussia wanted to remain neutral, but was it possible? I worried about the future sometimes. I would like to stay here a little longer.
I would too, but I must go to Berlin.
Then you must explain it to our children, Majesty. You wanted to tell me everything in your heart. You promised me.
Some things are just best left alone.
Because of Napoleon?
He is preparing to become emperor.
He's shameless. Just a little man. It suits him. But fortunately, Prussia is not France.
Many admire him. Wherever he goes, the people cheer for him. Some here sympathize with him. Everything is changing.
The people here love us. No one's about to start a revolution against us. Berlin is not Paris. As for Napoleon troubles, listen to the right advisors, and then decide. You are the king here.
But what's to decide? There's too much at stake.
He just wanted peace. Peace for Prussia. For us. And for himself. But how could there be peace when Napoleon could just take whatever he wanted, where he conquered former powers or created new states before forcing them into a union? He wanted Prussia on his side too. If we wanted to retain our independence, then we needed support. Help from allies with whom we had good relations. For me, there was only one who could stand by us if it became serious. At first, Frederick Wilhelm didn't want him to come, but I wanted him to. He was such an impressive person. At last, we would meet again. We had written many letters to each other. Alexander Pavlovich Romanov, the Russian Tsar. How long has it been since we've seen each other? The memories of our first meeting have never left me. I have read all your letters several times through.
I've thought about you too, Louise.
Yes!
My compliments, Majesty.
Thank you.
You are graceful and determined in everything you do.
You know, the people of Prussia admire you. So many have come out just to see you.
Not just because of me.
Now I will only hit you once.
With great pleasure. It's good you're here, my friend. I'll have you know the Queen is threatening me again.
I'd hate to disappoint.
Majesty. Without further ado, let me get to the point. We are friends. So if needs be, we stand with each other on the battlefield. I can only advise you, unite with Russia against France.
I am honored by your offer, but Prussia's neutrality has stood the test thus far.
One must pit oneself against Bonaparte.
I cannot simply provoke Napoleon.
Together we can stop him. We can't wait much longer. Time works in his favor. We have to act.
Prussia's not prepared for a war.
Soon he will declare war against you. You must be on our side, together with Austria. United, we will defeat that upstart.
I found it so difficult to not get involved. Didn't Frederick Wilhelm understand how opportune the moment was? At least, my husband was prepared to offer Napoleon an ultimatum and to mediate between the opponents. Should the plan fail, Prussia would then join Russia's side. But again, Napoleon was quicker. Before we could put any of our plans in motion, there was a terrible battle in December 1805 at Austerlitz. Russia and Austria were defeated. There was a retreat. Frederick Wilhelm was forced to come to an arrangement with France. But the humiliations didn't end there, and many Prussians had long since had enough. They are occupying our cities. They are breaking every treaty, and they are marching through our territories as they please. Friedrich, you must oppose Napoleon, and soon.
I'm negotiating with him.
The softer you are with him, the more he is just mocking us. He takes what he wants. He simply does what he wants.
He beat Russia and Austria. You know what that means? We just don't have the resources to continue without something worse happening.
Something worse? That happened a long time ago.
Louise, my hands are tied.
Friedrich, you must trust in yourself. Violence against violence is the only way now. It wasn't long before Friedrich Wilhelm saw too that there was no other way out and ordered the mobilization. High Prussian military and ministers urged him to act. I was honorarily assigned to a dragoon regiment. I was proud of my uniform. Have you seen how loyal my soldiers are to both me and to the king? They are inspired by thoughts of fighting, for their fatherland and to defend us. They all look so impressive in their uniforms.
Yes, they do.
We must push Napoleon and his armies all the way back behind the Rhine. Otherwise, the nightmare will never end.
For sure.
What's wrong, Countess? Are you not excited?
Yes, of course. But are you sure that you really want to accompany our army?
Not all the way to the front line. Have you already been on a battlefield?
God forbid. But I have seen many women cry over their fallen husbands and sons. I hope that our army is really strong enough to defeat Napoleon.
Do you think that I'm worried now? Too small. It was Napoleon who forced us into this war. We have no choice. Sometimes you have to go to war if you want peace. It'll be all right.
It actually looks like the Prussians are going to fight us after all, doesn't it? Even though the thought of it is absurd.
Sir, it's said that the Queen of Prussia is completely infatuated with her own regiment.
Madame should prefer to look after her offspring.
No. My concern was our country and its sons, who were going to war with Napoleon. I had no idea of the danger I was in.
Majesty, what are you doing here?
To see the king!
You must go back. You can't stay here.
Take me to my husband!
But that is not possible.
I can't go back! Because the French are all over there!
Well, there is another way. God keep you safe. That way. Yeah!
I only learned about what happened afterwards on the battlefields of Jena and Auerstedt days later. Nearly 35,000 people died on both sides, or were wounded.
Mira, pack all your things for Berlin.
Our once victorious army was destroyed in October 1806. Under no circumstances could I fall into the hands of the French.
Oh, where is it? I can't find it.
But how much time did I have left?
Hurry, there's no time.
Please bring that too.
Hurry, go pack the bedroom. We have no time.
All right, I got that already. It's downstairs.
Oh, you want me to take this?
Yes. Come on, go on. Hurry up. We don't have much time left.
Right, I've got it. Hurry, make sure you pack the thing.
All right, over there.
Majesty, I'll help you, please.
Where is the king?
No one knows. He's disappeared. No one has had any news of where he could be.
Is he not with his army?
Army? Doesn't really exist anymore.
Hoofaland, our doctor, was now the only one I could rely on.
You must set out at once, Your Majesty.
My children. Where are my children?
Don't worry. They've already been taken to safety.
Hoofaland, you must come with me. I can't do it alone.
Of course. Of course. Please, you must hurry.
I fled Berlin. Just in time. And Napoleon stripped our beautiful castles and gloried in his triumph.
Frederick the Great didn't listen to women at all. Against him, we wouldn't be here now. Frederick Wilhelm is a decent fellow with whom I could have made an arrangement. But no matter, such as things are.
But he ordered the mobilization.
Yeah, I'm sure that she incited him to do it. After all, she set the Tsars against me. But instead of accusing her, one really ought to pity her. It seems Madame definitely has a conscience.
If this isn't French silk, fragranced with musk, no less.
And now let's see. With whom the Queen has been corresponding. My dear Marat, the Queen deserves to be unmasked, don't you think? Please pass the following over to the newspapers.
I didn't understand how Napoleon could be so cruel. I was on the run for weeks. And nevertheless, I heard the lies that monster was spreading about me.
Everyone is convinced that the Queen is solely responsible for all of the suffering that the Prussian people have had. And then, everywhere one hears, she was so good, so gentle a year ago. But how she has changed since having a suspicious meeting with Kaiser Alexander this year. Also found in the Queen's apartment was a portrait of Kaiser Alexander of Russia. Also of note is some talk of certain documents which prove how unhappy the princes are, and which grants their wives certain influence over many political actions where they should not. Some notes, reports, and state papers were found amongst ribbons and lace among other toiletries belonging to the Queen. Stop.
He robbed us of everything. The country, the people, even my honor. I just wanted to get away. Far away. Via Stettin, Kustrin, Königsberg, and the Curonian Spit, I finally reached Memel at the northern end of Prussia. There I finally saw my family again, and regained my strength. Even though the war was over, but at least now the Tsar was on our side.
I know what you have suffered, but I am certain that we are capable of winning, and if it should only serve to comfort you.
Napoleon is offering us a ceasefire.
And what are his terms?
They are demands that we can scarcely meet. But the war would be over.
Should we just give up?
You must have faith. Together we can defeat Napoleon.
Are we strong enough?
Yes. And what I say applies. Neither of us will fall alone. Either we fall together, or not at all.
Good. I'm relying on our alliance.
Then it happened. That disastrous battle at Friedland. Of our forces, 20,000 men were lost. The French only lost half as many. Why did Napoleon have to win again?
Hurry up! Keep moving! They've arrived! Over there!
My God.
I never wanted this. I hate being right.
We had no choice.
Perhaps not. But this is the price.
Who will put an end to the terror?
No one.
What about Alexander? Where is Alexander?
Napoleon is negotiating with him. Alone.
No. We made a promise. Together or not at all.
He says now is not the time to set terms.
What happened then was like a wicked dream. Friedrich Wilhelm could do nothing but watch these mortifying events unfold. As our fate was decided, Napoleon curried favor with Alexander and flattered him.
Enough of this war. We must now be allies in peacetime. We must now let the world have a rest. I am your servant, just as you are mine.
And, what happens to Prussia?
Prussia has to pay for its arrogance. Prussia always took generous spoils in the past, when they had power. And now, it will get just what it deserves.
But it will still exist.
The important thing right now is our pact.
And then the news reached me, and that gave me a great idea. I should go to Tilsit to talk to Napoleon. I, of all people, should confront this vile person after everything that he had done to me. Should I ask for mercy or defy him? I was on my own, surrounded by men who gave me all the best advice I could hope for, and then waited for me to turn the tables. It was the hardest test of my whole life. honored that you made the effort to come here. Sorry it's not appropriate to your standing, nor is the situation.
For a beautiful woman, even a man of great honor would be willing to accept certain inconveniences. On the contrary, it is to be regretted that we have not met sooner, much regretted.
I'm pleased we feel the same way. I have the distinct feeling that you don't really know me.
And what makes you think that?
It's said that you accuse me of getting too involved in politics.
Rumors, which I have never really paid attention to.
I would rather talk openly. We have fought an unhappy war. You are the winner, but do you want to abuse your victory?
You are wearing a very beautiful dress, if I may say so. Where did you get it? Wrocław. Do they make crepe in your factories?
We're talking of fashion?
What is it you want to talk about?
About the terms of the peace.
So, you are trying to appeal to my sympathy?
I'm appealing to your soul. To your humanity. As both a mother and a wife, I ask you with all my heart to not take everything from my husband. Give my children a future.
Why did you have to force me to take things as far as I had to, down to the limit? Tell me, how often did I offer you peace, but still you rejected again every treaty of friendship?
Because of your terms. But I don't want to discuss high politics now. I am only thinking of my children. Should they be unhappy? They are lucky in to have a family, and one that loves them.
Madame, please. Aren't you about to argue that I want to destroy Prussia? Is that not it?
No. But you will destroy its future if you continue with your demands as you currently are. We must make sacrifices. But at least allow us to have our old provinces.
Madame.
It only costs you one word.
Far be it from me to want to hurt you. I will see how, perhaps if we... Perhaps... Well, look, it's your dear husband. I would hate to keep you waiting any longer.
Why could Friedrich Wilhelm not have waited a little longer?
Majesty. The Prussian arrived just at the right time to stop me. Even a moment longer, and I would have promised the Queen everything.
The terms for peace carried our worst fears. Napoleon divided our country into two and demanded reparations for the war which ruined us. The French occupied Berlin, and we had to go back into exile in eastern Prussia. What did we have left? Perhaps all of this has a meaning. We must find our way in these new times. We must make the best of what we have left.
What is left? Without country or power, how can I reign? I should abdicate.
No. We need patience and help. Time has overrun Prussia. France is only so strong because it has free citizens and soldiers who believe in their state. We have excellent men in Prussia. You just have to let them go.
Am I supposed to leave it to those who have no respect for their monarch?
Perhaps some have no good manners, but they are strong. act now. Please.
Perhaps a few of them should have the opportunity to prove themselves. It can't get any worse.
Yeah. I could only encourage him. He had to decide. And then it happened. Friedrich Wilhelm finally began to regain confidence in men like the barons from Stein and other reformers who wanted a new start for Prussia. The farmers in the countryside had more freedom. The children in the villages should have it better than their parents and go to school. Craftsmen and merchants could run their businesses independently. And all subjects should become independent citizens who believe in their country. Cities should govern themselves in the future, and the Prussian army should become a national army. And finally, Napoleon allowed us to return to Berlin. I had new hope for my country and for my family. We celebrated my 34th birthday in the hall in which we had married. These days, it was clear to me that sadness helps nothing, because whoever is guided by sadness invokes doom. I lived off hope and forgiving all of my enemies.
She had beautiful eyes, and she was clever. Soul and intellect were in harmony. At first, I thought that she was interfering in the political arena, but she was not involved enough. Our conversation was unique. Despite all of my efforts, she set the tone that day. Instead of taking her crown from her, one wanted to try and lay one at her feet.